it's free energy. People don't really realize that the solar power is free. You just have to figure out a way to collect it.
But once you have a solar plant up and running, it's not putting much out into the air or the water, and certainly doesn't have any greenhouse gas emissions. The environmental impact is truly minimal.
Simpler Solar Systems. We've been in business doing photovoltaic in 79 countries, designing and building solar power for third world countries. That's sort of how we got started. So we're here in Tallahassee as a major distributor for solar products. So virtually this is an uninterrupted power supply to power all of our building. Power is coming down from the solar panels. That energy goes either into the battery or it goes to this inverter. The inverter then ties back to our electrical panel box here and puts all of its power on our electrical system for us to use. It's converting solar into usable electricity at 97% efficiency.
It is an intermittent resource, and that's mostly because of the clouds. It is also intermittent in the sense of that it's diurnal, meaning it varies during the day because of the sun. The electric utility industry is very understandably conservative. It has to be reliable. You count on electricity being there when you turn the switch on, and it's one of the few things that has to be made instantaneously. CAPS has been around about 10 years. This is our first really large, truly dedicated solar type research initiative. The goal of it is to study and understand the effects of large amounts of solar PV connected to the power grid, with the expectation that we'll find ways to enable lots of PV to work successfully in the power grid and overcome the challenges with having a lot of this intermittent type resource. We want to understand how quickly does it change and how does that vary around the state for different types of solar installations, for different sizes, for small PV plants on your roof to big, very large PV plants. We can study their exact circuit, we can simulate it in great detail here, and we can show what happens with the PV varying and what happened if you were to put more PV or in different locations. We can study all kinds of scenarios and get some real insight into how does it affect the grid, and then change the technology or introduce new technology to deal with this variable resource. We're looking at replacing the energy that supplies the grid, and then it can be used everywhere. Everywhere you use electric power now.
When people think of Florida, they think, oh, we must have a lot of solar panels, but we really don't have that many solar panels compared to places like out west, because out west there's not a lot of like rain, thunderstorms. They don't see a lot of that, so they can just put they can build a bunch of PV installation sites there. That's where it's really been going.
We have 13 consecutive months of a zero electric bill, zero every month. What we try to do is take people's needs and convert those into how we can make solar electricity provide the most reliable source of power for the least cost. That's our job, that's our mission.
We are, as a state, are pretty lagging in renewable energy policy and incentives that kind of spur that along. So we have to use this new resource in a way that is just as reliable as all the other ways that the grid uses basic energy sources to produce electricity.